Hello. Feels it weird talking to myself again. Anyway, it's New Year's Eve. That's right, isn't it? Let me look at the calendar. Eve. New Year's Eve. I can't wait till I can say this year is over, because I've just had such a crazy time with it. Brain. Yeah, I mean, there's been some good stuff this year, like, the band, Winter Gaunt. Yeah, it was alright. We only did like 5 gigs, but yeah, that was a fun experience. And I'm doing some music projects now that have kind of come from that, and one's come from it, the others, I just feel more confident about doing that kind of stuff now that I know how things go a bit better. Also, doing audio engineering has been awesome. I love it. It's so much better than composition was. But like, on the emotional side of things, I've just had this massive roller coaster. And I'm keen to leave that all behind. I think I've pretty much got things sorted. Mostly. It's a little hard to sort out how I feel still, but yeah. I think in January I broke up with my boyfriend of more than 3 years. And then I dated another guy for a month in about March or April, don't really remember. But yeah, that didn't work out. And then around the same time that I was breaking up with him, my ex reappeared, and that just caused all kinds of mindfuck, because I never had to deal with that before. But you know, it's okay now. We're okay friends for now. But yeah, it just threw me for this massive loop. Yes, so I'm waiting for next year, and I'm just gonna, I know I could set any point as a kind of turning point, but being a sort of mathsy nut, I'm just like, New Year, I can make a clean break there and just say, oh, that was last year, and this is the new year. I've got 3 music projects. Well, I don't know how well they're all gonna go, but in theory, I have one project that's kind of sprung out of Winter Gaunt. I'm working with the same guitarist and then a few other people. And then there's a symphonic metal project, and then there's an industrial project. That's the one that's looking the most shaky at the moment, but hopefully it'll work out, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm working with a lot of different people, doing different things, and then of course I'm going back to uni to do more stuff. I'm doing a live sound elective, even though I've already done a bit of live sound. Oh my god, I haven't told YouTube about everything that's happened. Feels weird, I used to say everything, but so I'll probably just talk about stuff, maybe like, I don't remember that happening, that didn't happen on any episode I saw, but you know. I'm a little bit addicted to the whole thing of documenting my entire life. I can't help it, I do it on Facebook so much. Yeah. Kind of feels, I'm not really sure what it is. I'm an attention seeker, that's for sure. I think I'm also, it might be my way of dealing with the whole existential thing, because it's a bit like the Egyptian ideas about death and names and so on. So, you know, one of the reasons they wrote all these things carved into the walls and circled names with a cartouche as like a protective thing, it's so that they would preserve the name and be remembered, because if you speak someone's name however long into the future, they're supposed to keep living, and there's so many other different parts to Egyptians and their view of themselves, but that's one of them. Well, if I preserve some memory of me, that's like a way of living on, because there's like the genetic, there's sort of, the genetic purpose of life really is just to keep spreading your genes. That's the whole biological thing. At this point in my life, it's not looking likely unless I like donate a bunch of eggs or start cloning myself. yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna have much of a genetic legacy. But these days there's also the whole meme thing, and I'm not talking about crappy internet memes where you write stuff. It's like the Richard Dawkins meme about ideas being transmitted and sort of evolving in their own way, because the good ideas stick around and everything influences each other. And maybe that kind of idea is why I can't help but share things. It's kind of interesting, I guess. I still don't like it when people walk around. And it's even weirder because I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm like heaps nervous. Because it is kind of weird talking to myself. So that's my brother just walking around. Yeah, speaking of all this meme type stuff, like mind genes, I guess that's the closest I'll get to some kind of a legacy. I don't really expect to do anything that significant to be that remembered, but people might stumble on some of my stuff, such as my poetry books. I've released a new one with the naked me on it. Most of these sticky notes are errors. I'm going to correct that pretty soon, so it's going to make the error version pretty rare. Yeah, some of it is about imagery and things that I wanted to turn into lyrics, but mostly they're errors. It's so embarrassing. It's probably more embarrassing than looking like that on my cover. But yeah, so this is mostly, I mean, it's about 2 years worth of work, but most of it comes from this year. I think like even as early as 230-ish. It starts on like some of the real crap that was happening to me this year. Yeah, I kind of let loose. Anyway, for those who didn't even know I wrote poetry, that was the second book, and I couldn't find any errors in it. All these tabs, there's only 3 tabs, they're all about imagery that I might use. Because, had a photographer do a photo shoot with me, kind of fun. And he was like, yeah, maybe we could do a visual series based on some of your poems. I'm trying to find some imagery, but a lot of it is more emotional than imagery based. And that's my first book, and it does have some errors, but it's also got some imagery and so on. There's only 3 errors in that one, so I'll do another version of that. I'll probably just update them all and have new introductions and update my websites at the back. So I make the first editions kind of rare once they stop, and then probably I won't update the second ones if I make all the right changes. So you can buy them, I'll put a link. I don't really expect many people to buy them. I'm gonna go to bed. There's a lot of stuff that I want to complain about, like Australian fucking politics and life. But I'll wait for another day because I get carried away so easily.